Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and yet another new Thomas Thrift Store Hauls episode. For those who are new, this is the series where we take a look at the Thomas merchandise I find from the many thrift stores I go to. The items can range from take-along to Trackmaster. Finally, we have a good amount of Trackmaster engines for this episode. Will they be trash or treasure? Let's find out. Well, of course they're going to be treasure, it's the Trackmaster range. As always, we'll take a look at the die-cast Thomas range first, and we only have two for this episode, both being from the push-along range. First up is, it's the push-along Toby. I don't know how it's possible to mess up making a version of Toby, but Mattel found a way!
Bruh.
I don't think I need to say what's wrong with this engine. I think it's pretty clear. And the last item is the push-along tender for Shane. I actually have the push-along Shane, so now I have the complete set. I am so happy to have the push-along Shane. Isn't that so cool, guys? It's missing the coupling, so I can't even connect the engine and tender. No wooden railway items for this episode, so we're going right into the Trackmaster engines. First up is a 2012 Mattel Trackmaster Thomas. I already have this engine in my collection, and I really need to stop getting versions of characters I already have. I'm not joking when I say this. This box is filled with only duplicates of Thomas and Percy. Every single version of the character in here is one that I already own, and I just stored away all of the duplicate versions, like including the one that's in my box of engines. Including that one, I have 4 racing Percys. 4! Who needs 4 racing Percys? Apparently I did, that's why I have 4 of them. And I have including the one in my box of Trackmaster Thomases, I have 3 Streamline Thomases. Who needs 3? What? But yeah, no, I need to stop getting duplicates of characters because this is actually getting out of hand. Next up is a Trackmaster 2 Thomas. Not much to say about it, but the next 2 engines are really cool as it's the Talking Thomas and Percy. We've already seen these 2 engines before in a previous episode, but I just couldn't pass up getting another set of the talking engines. Now I have 3 Talking Thomas and Percys. Next up is a really cool item. It's the Crash and Repair Diesel 10. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I really like the concept of the Crash and Repair engines. It was a pretty short-lived range for Trackmaster and only had 4 engines produced for it, that being Thomas, Bash, Diesel 10, and Salty. I have Salty, and now Diesel 10. I really like that Mattel brought back the flip face feature for the range, and the Crash and Repair engines are very similar to the original ones made by Hit Toy Company. The original engines have a switch at the bottom to change the face, while the Trackmaster 2 ones have a big button on the front that causes the face to change and reveal damage to the train. I really like the crash feature, but mine is missing a part on the side. Yeah, the proportions of the Crash and Repair engines are off, but I can look past that as these are special versions. I never found these engines in store and only got the Crash and Repair Salty online. I'm really happy to have this engine in my collection, and hopefully I'll get the other 2 engines too.
Oh, hello.
Next up is the Trackmaster 2 Emily. Again, I already have this item. This is probably the worst version of the character in this range. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what's wrong. Interestingly, the Trackmaster 2 Emily has a buffer beam on the back, and that's probably because the original Tomy one had one too. I mean, it's still better than the wooden railway one.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Get out!
And lastly, we have the Trackmaster Rebecca. This is a pretty good Trackmaster item with nice detail, but what is up with the buffers? I already have this item, but I think I like the Playrel one slightly more. We have some Thomas minis, and yes, the minis will now have their own section in the Thomas Thrift Store Hauls series, as well as some other items too. First up are these, two minis Jameses. Moving along very quickly to our last mini, we have this Space Bert. Our last items for today's episode are some books. First up is this Thomas color book. I got this only because I wanted the stickers. Yeah, that's it. Next up is this engine book, and I got this because it has some really goofy illustrations. Why is Gordon's number on his cab? And are those Annie and Clarabelle? Who is this? And why is James's number on his cab too? Why is Percy's smokebox support like that? On this page, Toby is fine, but on the next page, the top of his side plate is red? What is happening? Both Donald and Douglas have misplaced couplings. Here's the best one. Duck. The boiler and safety valve are black, but the dome is green. The handrails are gold, and he's missing his side rods.
Bruh.
So yeah, pretty goofy book, and I love it. And our last item for this episode is this bubble magnet book. I got this just for the Henry one. Oh yeah, the other characters are cool too. And that was everything. Let me know in the comments what item was your favorite. Mine would definitely have to be the Trackmaster Crash and Repair Diesel 10. Really cool and fun item.